Hi, this is Primary Cinema, and today I want to talk about metaphorical sound mixing, a really powerful aspect of filmmaking that was pioneered by living film legend Walter Murch. You may have heard of Murch. He worked alongside George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola at their independent studio American Zoetrope in the 70s. While there, he wrote, edited, and produced on films like The Rain People, THX 1138, The Godfather, American Graffiti, The Conversation, and Apocalypse Now. And while he has worn many hats throughout his career, his work in film sound is what has really defined his legacy. I mean, he coined the term sound designer. That's how big an impact he's had on the industry. The sound innovations he conceived of while working on these landmark films were groundbreaking. Back then, film sound wasn't the art form it is today. Rarely were new sound effects recorded for a film. Instead, studios relied on reusing recordings from sound libraries. It's how stuff like the Wilhelm scream became a thing. But Murch took a different approach. For THX 1138, every sound effect he included in the film was recorded by him, specifically for that film. And during this arduous process, he developed brand new techniques for recording sounds for film. Here, I'll let him explain some of his innovations.
I worked out a system of taking the sound that I wanted to add color to and actually going to the environment where I would get this color, say a basketball court, and playing the sound or the voice in this space, and on another tape recorder I would record the sound and its echo. And then when I got back to the studio, I would have two pieces of film running in sync together, side by side. One would be the original sound, and the other one would be the sound with this echo around it. And by changing the proportion of these two sounds, you could make it sound dry with just a little bit of echo, or you could reverse it and have nothing but echo and almost nothing of the original dry sound.
Performance perfect is perfect performance.
In this specific case, you're listening to another discovery I made, which is that if you are in an ordinary sized room and play the voice at 4 times speed, so you've sped it up 4 times, and you record it on the other tape recorder is also running at this very fast speed, then when you play the second recorder back at normal speed, you get the original sound, but you get the space of the room as if it were 4 times larger than it really is.
That work alone was revolutionary and cements him as a key figure in cinema history. But let's talk about my favourite innovation of his, and of course, the reason for this entire video, metaphorical sound mixing. Really, it all started with this one scene Murch cut together in The Godfather. I'll play you the clip in a minute, and when I do, you'll hear a train. We never see one on screen, but the scene takes place in New York, and Murch figured there could easily be an overhead commuter train speeding around a bend just outside the restaurant. And it's this sound that gives the audience an insight into Michael Corleone's state of mind. Listen. Murch later described this train sound effect as the neurons in Michael's brain clashing against each other. What's revolutionary here isn't just the fact he included the sound of something which existed entirely off screen, and that the director and actors may not have even been imagining at the time of filming. It's how he used this sound to give the audience insight visuals alone just could not deliver. He used the soundtrack of the scene as a metaphor. And Murch would make a habit of this throughout his career. Later in The Godfather Part 3, this scene is mirrored when Michael screams in agony and no noise comes out. It's a reversal that bookends the trilogy, where before there was sound without picture, now there is picture with no sound. Or consider his excellent sound work on The English Patient, a film he both edited and sound mixed. His work here is a perfect example of how metaphorical sound can be used to complement or contrast the film's images. Let's take a look. In this scene, near the film's beginning, Juliette Binoche's character Hannah learns of the death of her partner. The sound of the bombs dropping outside the tent reinforces Hannah's feeling of her world collapsing around her. This is an example of sound complementing image.
He's dead!
And consider the Christmas kiss scene between Ray Fiennes and Christian Scott Thomas. The beginnings of their extramarital affair is juxtaposed by the crowd outside singing Silent Night. I think we better give them some privacy, but you get the idea. Playing a church hymn over these visuals is an example of sound contrasting with image. Both uses are effective, and by no means is one greater than the other. They're just tools Murch identified for creating a powerful symphony of sound and image. Murch's work has had an impact across the industry. Here now are just two of my favourite examples. I've always adored this shot in Interstellar, where Nolan plays a nature soundscape over stunning visuals of the ship sailing through the vastness of space. It's that juxtaposition again. Sounds that are so distinct to Earth, and images that are so alien. It drives home the point Matthew McConaughey's character makes in the previous scene, about how these astronauts are modern day explorers. And I love this scene in Mean Girls, as another use of nature sounds to make a point, however less profound it may be.
Well, kind of reminded me of being home in Africa, by the watering hole, when the animals are in heat.
I really enjoy seeing techniques like this being used for comedic effect. It's important to remember comedies can be just as sophisticated as prestige dramas or big blockbusters. I admire any time a comedy film goes above and beyond to deliver jokes in different ways than just dialogue, and Mean Girls is a great example of that. So there you go, a primer into Walter Murch and an introduction to metaphorical sound mixing. Keep an ear out for it next time you're watching a movie, or let me know in the comments your favourite use of it on screen. And please like and subscribe for more exciting videos coming soon. Bye for now.